What's up guys, it's Rick Pete back with another video for you, and this is going to be a review of a couple of pay-per-views. I've actually had to cram in watching some wrestling due to me being moved on to night shift now, so during the day obviously I've been working, I'm sleeping, in between that I've got family life and stuff. So I've basically just crammed in a load of wrestling. Some of them I've watched quite not long after they actually happened. And I'm just going to get around to quickly mentioning those at the end of the video. First of all, the first pay-per-view I'm going to talk about is Final Battle 2016, brought to you by Ring of Honor. I watched this last night, as I'm really starting to get into Ring of Honor now. It's a miles better alternative I find for wrestling than WWE is at the moment. So yeah, Final Battle 2016. It came from it was held at the Hammerstein Ballroom, which a lot of you may remember is where the one night stand was held. It started off with the Rebellion, which is, anybody who follows Ring of Honor will know it was formerly the Cabinet, which is Rhett Titus, Caprice Coleman, and Kenny King, who I absolutely despise, facing Donovan Dijak and the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. I'm not quite sure about the build-up story to this. I'm behind on my weekly Ring of Honor shows, but it was a good opening match. The Rebellion came out victors. I was hoping Dijak and Motor City Machine Guns would win, like I said, purely because I can't stand Kenny King. But if you haven't seen Ring of Honor and you have the opportunity to, I'd seriously suggest checking it out. Donovan Dijak is amazing. He's somewhere between, it depends who's commentating, between 6'7", 7 foot, and he flies around the ring like a cruiserweight. He's absolutely unreal. So yeah, it's worth checking it. Ring of Honor out, not just purely for him. There's plenty of other talent that it's worth checking it out for. But he's one of those who's going to be a massive star in the future of Ring of Honor. Next up was Silas Young versus Jushin Thunder Liger. It was a good match. I was expecting Jushin Thunder Liger to win this, but Young came out with a win after he hit his finishing move, Misery. There was a little bit of interference from Silas Young's buddy, the Beer City Bruiser, but not enough really to make any massive difference to the match. But yeah, Silas Young beat Jushin Thunder Liger, which I was actually quite surprised about. I didn't expect that coming. Next up was Dalton Castle versus Colt Cabana. They were tag team partners, albeit short-term tag partners, and basically Colt Cabana turned on him. Dalton Castle is kind of turned heel. It's the first time I've ever seen Colt Cabana as a heel. I've always seen him as a babyface in Ring of Honor. So yeah, but it was another good match. I really enjoyed it. I'm really digging the character of Dalton Castle. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Colt Cabana I've liked for a long time. I always thought Colt Cabana was great. Castle got the win after he hit his finishing move, Bangarang. Next up was Cody Rhodes making his Ring of Honor debut against Jay Lethal. I was pulling for Jay Lethal. A, because I like Jay Lethal, and B, I've never liked Cody Rhodes in any way, shape or form as Cody Rhodes, as Stardust. Just never ever liked the guy at all. He's never done anything that's really blown me away. He's just been what he is. The match was good until the end. Cody hit a low blow, a blatant low blow behind the referee's back, got the win, which really disappointed me. Actually, now I'll be honest, I was really pissed that Jay Lethal lost this. And then after the match, Cody Rhodes was mocking Jay Lethal and the fans. And the fans had been chanting "fuck you, Cody" most of the way through the match, and they really let him have it after the match. Basically they were shouting what I've always thought. And then before finally leaving, he came back on stage and shoved the colour commentator Steve Corino, who those of you who don't watch Ring of Honor may remember from many years ago as ECW talent. Not sure where else he wrestled, to be honest, but he's a brilliant colour commentator, by the way. Yeah, so the finals of the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Title Tournament was next up, and it was the Kingdom, or the New Kingdom, which is Matt Taven, TK O'Ryan, and now that how do you say his last name, Vinny Marsiglia. and they faced Lio Rush, Jay White, and Kushida. This was a really frantic, fast-paced match that I really enjoyed. Eventually, the Kingdom came out with a win, and they were crowned the first Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. Not quite sure how this is going to work, because I mean, you have the Young Bucks and Adam Cole team up quite a lot, so that makes a 3. Then obviously you've got the Rebellion, or the Cabinet as they were formerly known. That's a team of 3. So whether they'll just make teams of 3 up to challenge for it, don't know. It'd be interesting, but it adds an extra element to Ring of Honor, which is good. So yeah, we'll see how that progresses. But I do like the design of the belts as well. If I think on, I'll put a picture of them at the end of the video, and you guys can leave your thoughts on them. So next up, another title match. It was the Ring of Honor TV title this time. Marty Scurll defending against Will Ospreay and Dragon Lee. The TV title had changed hands twice in 48 hours on Ring of Honor's Reach for the Sky UK tour. Will Ospreay beat Bobby Fish, and then the next night he ended up defending against Marty Scurll, who won. The villain, Marty Scurll, should I say. And then, yeah, so it changed hands twice in 48 hours on that UK tour, which I really wish I'd. I don't know how I didn't know about that. I would have loved to have gone to that. Liverpool's doable from where I live, so I'm going to have to keep my eye out now for next time to come over, because I would love to go see Ring of Honor live. Steve Corino described this match as an instant classic. I agree. It was a great match. Plenty of high spots, plenty of aerial stuff. It was everything the cruiserweight division should be, but isn't allowed to be. That's just my opinion. In the end, Marty Scurll, the villain, came out on top and retained his title. After that, we had yet another title match. It was the Briscoes versus the Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. Anybody who's seen my other videos knows I'm a fan of the Young Bucks and I'm a fan of the Briscoes, so I was really stuck on this one. These two teams have met so many times now. I don't think they've ever had a bad match. They basically stick to a set formula and throw a little bit of new stuff in between. No different here. As always, it was an awesome match. Both teams kicked out of each other's finishes. Eventually, the Young Bucks retained after hitting both of the Briscoes, or them boys, with a flurry of super kicks, which I believe Steve Corino almost lost his voice just commentating that bit. Basically, both Briscoes were on the knees, and Matt and Nick Jackson were just kicking each of them, one each, in the face repeatedly with super kicks, until in the end they just collapsed, did the Briscoes, and they pinned them. Then after that match finished, the lights went out and a video played with Matt Hardy. The first bit of the audio was missing, you couldn't really hear it, and then the audio kicked in halfway through. We're basically saying that him and Brother Nero are going to be coming to Ring of Honor, so wait and see what happens with that. I was a massive fan of Matt Hardy's last run in Ring of Honor. I thought it was pretty poor, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Like I say, see what happens with that. And next up was the main event. It was Kyle O'Reilly challenging Adam Cole, baby, for the Ring of Honor World title. Again, I like both guys, so whoever won it was a win-win for me. All I'm going to say is what a match. Absolutely, just wow. It genuinely blew me away. A lot of people may not agree, some people may, but I was genuinely blown away by this match. O'Reilly got busted open after Adam Cole hit him with the belt, although he did actually sort of crawl under the ring apron, and as the camera came round the corner of the ring, you could see him moving his arm like that, so he was blading, which they sort of should have bollocked the cameraman for that, really. Adam Cole bled. It was a bit more subtle about it, though. They used chairs, a trash can, tables, thumbtacks came out. The thumbtacks were pretty much involved in the end of the match. O'Reilly eventually got the win. He got Adam Cole to tap out to an armbar while they were both laid in the thumbtacks. It was a great match to end a great pay-per-view. And like I say, I'm happy O'Reilly won because I'm a fan of Red Dragon. I don't know if anybody may have seen one of my older videos. I actually have a Red Dragon t-shirt that I bought. And yeah, so yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that pay-per-view. It was absolutely amazing, blew me away. I'll definitely be getting the DVD of that when it comes out. No shadow of a doubt on that one. So yeah, that leads me up to the most recent pay-per-view I've watched, which was today. I watched T.L.C. from last night, and what a contrast to Final Battle it was. Started up, those of you who don't know, there are going to be results in here, as it says in the description, so you know, if you're not bothered about knowing, then fine, but if you're one of those people who gets a bit arsy about knowing results, look away now. Started off with Orton and Wyatt versus Slater and Rhino for the tag titles. Not a great match, to be honest. I wasn't really drawn into it. I don't know, it just didn't, there wasn't much to it. I was disappointed with the result too. Orton and Wyatt coming out with a win. I'm not really digging Randy Orton as a member of the Wyatt family. There's something about it that just doesn't seem right. Every time he's in the ring with Bray and that they're on the way to a win, I keep expecting him to RKO Bray. Like I did last night, to be honest. I was expecting him to RKO Bray, so Bray get gored or something like that, and Slater and Rhino would retain, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Next up was Nikki Bella versus Carmella in a no DQ. So one of the biggest abominations to women wrestling is back, and back in the spotlight. That of course is Nikki Bella. I enjoyed her not being around. I was hoping, I know this may sound harsh, but I was hoping that a neck injury would force her to retire, because I'm just sick of her. She bores me, I'll be honest. Never liked her. Those who've been watching my videos since day one will know my exact thoughts. Those of you who are new, please check my videos. There is actually one entitled Bella Rant. So yeah, basically, I'm not a fan of the Bellas, never have been. It was a terrible match, terrible match. They used a kendo stick in it, which was just ridiculous. Carmella at least used it the right way around to shield the handle and not the end of it, unlike Nikki Bella was hitting Carmella. So the handle part of the kendo stick was hitting her. And then as Nikki Bella was on the way up the ramp after the match, Carmella announced, they used a fire extinguisher as well. Nikki Bella used a fire extinguisher to help her get the win. As Nikki Bella was on the way up the entranceway, Carmella got on the microphone and announced that it was Natalya who attacked her at Survivor Series, because obviously we hadn't already sussed that, despite Natalya later on denying it. Everybody knows it was Natalya, it has to be. But unless they're going to change that storyline now, who knows. Next up, Ziggler versus Miz for a ladder match. I was annoyed that Miz even regained the IC title at all. Thanks to Maurice again rolling him over while he was in the small package. So he beat Ziggler for the title just before Survivor Series. Ziggler and Zayn would have absolutely blown the roof off the place, tore it down, and it would have been the best match of the night. My theory is maybe that's why WWE did it, and they took the title off Dolph Ziggler. This may sound a bit weird, but hear me out, bear with me. Why would WWE want two mid-card guys to be the best match on the show when they've got, the main event of Goldberg, Lesnar, the 5-on-5 men's elimination match, etc. So I think that's why they put Miz on, because then it was just going to be Miz and Zayn, and Miz was always going to cheat and win, which he did. Miz gained another shitty victory at Survivor Series, left the fans pissed off. So basically the rest of the card had a chance then to look good. So we had one last meeting between Ziggler and Miz. I was so hoping that Ziggler would get the win. One, because I hate the Miz with a passion. I've never liked the guy, never ever. And second reason, I just think Dolph Ziggler deserves it. He deserves a decent Intercontinental title run. But no, Miz retained after two low blows on the top of the ladders while Ziggler was straddling two ladders. So I'm officially losing faith in WWE's powers that be, having that talentless prick, The Miz, as IC champion. It just it just doesn't make sense. The crowd booing like mad. There were a few people chanting for Miz, but I was going to get them that chant over, chant for the heels. So yeah, I'm seriously losing interest in the Intercontinental title picture while ever Miz holds it. So the next match on the card was Kalisto versus Corbin in a chairs match. I wasn't expecting much from this match, to be honest. I knew deep down it was going to be a whitewash and Corbin just destroy Kalisto, but it was a decent match. Like I said, I knew Corbin was going to win, and lo and behold, he did. There were a few times when it looked like Kalisto might get a win, but it wasn't to be. And then after that, we had Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss in a table match for the women's title. It was a decent match, nothing spectacular, but given the fact the only female match on it was Bella and Carmella, they didn't really have much to go against. I was a bit gutted that Becky lost the title. Having said that, I don't mind it being to Alexa Bliss. Pretty much anybody with Nikki Bella wearing the belt will do me. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes with the story. And then last but not least, we had Styles versus Ambrose in a TLC match for the World Championship. Main event, I was really hoping it would redeem the rest of the pay-per-view. I'm a fan of both guys, so whoever won, it'd be a win-win for me. And all I can say is, well, it was interesting. It was a great match, plenty of back and forth. Many a time it looked like one of them were going to grab the belt and the other one to grab it, knock them down and what have you. And then James Ellsworth appeared, came down the ramp, distracted AJ Styles for a brief second, and just as Styles was about to drop him on his face on the metal, Ambrose came to the rescue, hit Dirty Deeds on the metal stairs. Styles was out of it. Ambrose climbed the ladder, and then all of a sudden the ladder started tilting, and as the camera panned down, it was the chinless wonder James Ellsworth tipping the ladder, sent Ambrose flying off the top and through some tables at ringside. And then Styles managed to come round, get in the ring, climb the ladder, retain the title. James Ellsworth ruined that match for me. I'm pretty sure he ruined it for a lot of other people out there. Feel free to leave comments if you're one of them. Again, it was typical shitty WWE ending to a match. Overall, the pay-per-view didn't blow me away at all, I'll be honest. I was just left thinking, well, that's 3 hours of my life I'm never going to get back. But I was really enjoying the match until Ellsworth showed up, and then, like I say, it just went downhill after that. So I'd be interested to see what happens now, whether Dean Ambrose will just destroy Ellsworth so he vanishes off into the sunset, or whether he'll get his title match against AJ Styles and Styles will destroy him. Don't know, but yeah, I wasn't blown away by the event. Actually, when I finished watching, my girlfriend had just come back from the school run, and she asked me how it had gone, and I just said it was not that good. It wasn't really. The only match that really pulled me in was the ladder match, the TLC match for the world title, but that's only because of who it was. It was Styles and Ambrose, so either way it was always going to be a good match. But yeah, none of the other matches on the card really drew me in, so it is what it is. I'm going to quickly go through my thoughts on NXT Takeover in Toronto, because I never actually did a video about that. Like I said, working nights and sleeping during the day and doing stuff during the day, when I'm not working. So I'm just going to quickly sort of run through my thoughts on it. A lot of people weren't really hyped up for this event. They felt the build-up wasn't as good as the Takeover shows, and I kind of see where they were coming from. But I had no doubt that the show would be awesome, as it's very rare. Well, NXT's yet to disappoint me on a Takeover. First match up, as everybody who's seen it will know, was Bobby Roode, Ty Dillinger, and I've got to say I thought Roode's entrance was amazing. Choir was a great idea, and the match itself was awesome. The crowd were torn between the two Canadians. I thought it might have been further down the card, but it was a great opening match, a great way to start the show. Obviously Roode got the win, as I suppose it was expected really. The next match of course was the finals of the Dusty Classic, Authors of Pain versus TM61. Kind of expected Authors of Pain to win, but there were times when it genuinely looked like TM61 may pull it off. Not an amazing match. There were some great moments from TM61. Some of the high flying stuff they did, and some of the the double suplex or something they did on one of the bigger guys. I can't remember the names of the guys in Authors of Pain. And obviously Paul Ellering was suspended above the cage. It was like being time travelled back to like the 80s, NWA booking. But it was a decent match. Yeah, a decent match at best. Next up, DIY versus Revival, 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT tag titles. As we all know, that one ended up, and awesome was the only word I could use to describe this match. Non-stop from bell to bell. I loved every second of it. I was drawn into the match. I wasn't distracted by anything else going on in the room when I was watching it. I was totally just absorbed into the match. New champions, which I was happy about, as I'm a fan of DIY. I was a fan of Tommaso Ciampa when he was in Ring of Honor, so it's nice to see him doing well. Next up was the NXT Women's title, Mickie James versus Asuka. I was expecting a good match. I wasn't disappointed. Mickie James looked great. She didn't miss a heartbeat. She just looked like she'd not been out of the ring for at all, really. Eventually Asuka retained by submission, but it was a hell of a match by both women involved, and both of them deserved amazing amounts of credit. And then there was obviously the main event, Joe versus Nakamura for the NXT title. Another great match, ruined by the ending for me. Low blow by Joe led to the end of Nakamura's reign. I'll be honest, I felt cheated, as a lot of people in the crowd, from what I could gather, did. Nakamura obviously recently got his rematch. For those of you who don't know, spoiler alert, he won back the title in Osaka, in NXT's Osaka, which I've not been able to find yet, so I don't know how I'm going to watch that. I don't know whether I've missed it somewhere when I've been looking, but I'm hoping to try and find that and actually watch that event. Yeah, the problem I had with the ending to this was I like Samoa Joe. I do like Samoa Joe. As you know, on my previous video I got the Samoa Joe t-shirt. I've liked him since TNA Ring of Honor, although I was more familiar with his TNA stuff than I was his Ring of Honor until I got his DVD. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Joe. He's a great worker and everything. I would rather he'd have won the match cleanly in that, but I suppose as a heel, he's going to do what he's going to do to win the title. Obviously he's dropped it again to back to Nakamura. Whether this means Joe's going to take the step up to the main roster, I don't know. I suppose the obvious thing would be now to get Joe on the main roster and build up maybe Bobby Roode to challenge Nakamura. Who knows? One thing I would like to say before I wrap up this video, because I've been going on for a while now, is that I would like to see some sort of secondary title in NXT. I've heard Hazard F5 mention it on his video, and I completely agree. I think you're always going to have your main NXT title contenders, and then there's always going to be the mid-card guys like your Ty Dillingers and I can't think of anybody else now. Mine's gone completely blank, but there's always going to be like the mid-card guys who are going to need something to challenge for. So it just makes sense that you make some sort of title for those. I mean, a TV title would be pretty cool, because obviously like they have an Intercontinental and US title on the main roster, so why not give NXT a TV title? It'll be something different, and it'll give the mid-card guys something to compete for and a little bit of experience of being a champion and stuff like that. I don't know, tell me what you guys think. But yeah, that'll do it for now, guys. I think I've gone on for long enough, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. To those of you who subscribe, thank you very much. To those of you who haven't, feel free to. There's plenty of other stuff on the channel, as you've probably seen, to watch. Those of you who watch regular may have noticed my new Goldberg t-shirt that I never actually did a video about. I usually do videos on merch arrives, but I thought between that and the 2K17 live streams it seemed to be getting a bit monotonous, so I didn't bother doing a video about this arriving, but it was a pre-order. Pre-ordered it when it came up on the Euro shop, and I'd be honest, I totally forgot about it, and then it arrived through the post, which I was quite happy about. So yeah, did I mention the Goldberg and Lesnar match? I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did mention Goldberg and Survivor Series. Yeah, yeah, if I didn't, basically, just very quickly, if I have, I apologise, my memory's not so good. But yeah, I was surprised how quickly it ended. Basically, the whole match could be shown in a replay. I didn't see it coming. I thought it might have lasted longer. And the fact that they got Goldberg to destroy Lesnar so quickly came as a massive shock. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously, this t-shirt suggests I was quite happy with the result. But I do kind of like Lesnar, despite the fact that, you know, obviously when he pushed Orton open at SummerSlam, there was a bit no need for that really. But other than that, Lesnar's been a consistent beast. But I suppose they had to show that he can be beat, and they have done. So yeah, that'll definitely do it for now, guys. I'll be back soon. I've got some new DVDs that have arrived. So I'll probably do a video about those soon. I don't know what to do, just a video showing them. I might just do like a review video when I've watched them. I'm halfway through one of them already. Well, I've watched the first disc of the 2-disc set. So yeah, so that'll do it for me, guys. I'll be back soon with something. If not, I'll be back with a very quick Christmas video. So yeah, that'll do it for me for now, guys. As always, take it easy. Thanks for watching. See you soon.